So right now we will be starting the new session, which is presented to you by engineer Mohammad Ali Shalan from Aqarat Real Estate Development Company. He is the head of technology for Aqarat. They're based in Saudi Arabia. Mohammad is also the director of digital transformation for the PMI Saudi Arabia chapter, and he will be presenting a presentation session on digital transformation governments. Digital transformation governance, harmonized productivity and well-being. There's been a lot of government-related discussions that we've been having, so slip of the tongue. But anyways, thank you very much, Mohammed. You can unmute yourself, and there is actually we have two poll questions during this session, and I will start with posting the first poll, and then we can look at posting the second poll during the session. Over to you, Mohammed.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for hosting me today. It's my pleasure. Are you able to see my screen? Okay. So today we are talking about digital transformation governance, why we need digital transformation, and how this will affect us and will affect our productivity. First of all, they have like 5 points that we will be talking about. One of them is the transformation as a must. So how we will make transformation, and why we need the governance for digital transformation. Then we are talking about building the digital transformation governance structure, and we have some case studies as well. We will talk about some messages to business leaders so that they can find good way. The other point is transformation. Everyone actually know that transformation is a must. And as you see, actually, technology is moving very fast. And in this, the business is following up, the culture is following up, the policies, and we are building our skills. We have to upgrade our skills. So for this, you see that we need to transform. I have been working for digital transformation since a while, actually. And before a few years, we were talking about, we were trying to convince people that we need to transform, and we tell them why we should transform. We tell them about disruption and something like this. We told them about the emerging technologies, but now it's different. Today, everyone is convinced about digital transformation. This was about part of the positive sides of the pandemic, actually, the COVID-19 pandemic, that people today is convinced about transformation, but the issue, they need to run a successful digital transformation journey, because they feel that some of these journeys are not successful and it will need some activities. And in here, this is what we see. Actually, this is a McKinsey slide that in 2023, most of the companies think, around 64% of the companies think that they need to build a new digital business so that they can sustain and stay in the market. Others, like 21%, think they need to change something, and some others think they will make a new fundamental model for certain changes. We have only 11% of the companies thinking that they can sustain and they can stay as they are, which is really, I doubt even in this even 11%. Why we need digital transformation and why we need governance? It's very important because first, there is a lot of dynamics in the digital transformation. One of them is that we need to recognize that transformation is not change. Transformation is creating a fundamental shift and a new future for the company, for us, for ourselves. It's a major change. So when, for example, when we are talking that Kareem or Uber came into the taxi market, it's a fundamental change. It's not like only anyone change or any taxi company change something in its style. And how we view this, actually, we view this as like a caterpillar moved into a butterfly. It's not, we are not looking into transformation as a snake changing its color, or it's, so this is the change, and this is the transformation, and we need to be very much aware about this thing. The other point actually is we need to talk about how digital transformation is blurring the lines, because digital transformation today is blurring the lines and between the physical and digital. What happens in the industry, in the digital transformation now, is opposite to what happens in industrial revolutions, first and second and third industrial revolutions, where we have a lot of machines coming up. We have power and muscles coming to the business. Now we are talking about brains coming to our business and changing the way we are doing business. So there is a lot of interaction between business and technology, a lot of interaction between people and machines. So this we need to take care when we are planning a journey. For this reason, we see that now the top people in most of the companies and the leading companies today is technical oriented, and they know a lot of things about technology. And for one example is that when Domino's Pizza make their digital transformation journey, they have done like half of the team in their headquarters was technology people. So that's why we see even the top people like the CEO, the board, and everyone is part of the digital people who know a lot of information. So we have to educate ourselves as business people about digital transformation and how to fit in our business. The other thing is that digital transformation is a journey, meaning that when digital transformation is a journey, it's not a destination. It's not that something that you plan and then you finish and you quit. It's something that you have to put an objective for yourself. You have to put a transformation journey. You have to understand that no one size fits all. You have to put a lot of rules and influences, and also then you think into batches and think how you will manage this journey from end to end. So, and you sometimes you change your direction. So it's really very important how you manage this. One more thing is about digital transformation has multiple components, meaning that digital transformation is a complex thing actually, and it have a lot of points that we need to take care about. And these points is done by different people. So you have to find a way to control all these things. And here partially coming the governance model and how we govern. The other thing actually is that we are using the desire path concept, which is creating room for innovation in our digital transformation journey. This is analogy actually to what happens in architecture. In architecture, usually when they put a city, for example, they don't build every pathway or walkway. They wait for the people to move between the destinations and find the best pathways for these people. Then they pave it and they make it like walking roads. And in here we'll find this style now is used in digital transformation. We create a journey, but we keep some room for our employees and for our staff and for our customers to put some value into our digital transformation journey, because we don't know everything. One more thing is related to the deconstruction of value, meaning that I work for a real estate development company, and what we did first, we are a master developer. We have like one big land, 1 million square meters, and we divide this land into small plots and we start selling these plots. This whole story usually taking like 5-6 years to complete and to sell all these plots. Now, for the time when we are thinking about smart cities, how we manage a smart city, we are talking about hundreds of contractors actually and hundreds of activities, because we have something like main structures that done by main contractors. Then we have IoT contractors, we have camera contractors, we have a lot of things, because we need to stay at the leading edge. So we have a lot of activities going on, and we need to tackle this into as an orchestrator. So our rule change as to be an orchestrator about all these things, and so we have to control. And for this, actually, I have write a book about innovative contracting for digital transformation, which is talking about this subject, because I feel it is really very important. And while we are talking about value deconstructions, also we are talking about funding the value, because if I stop a project at a certain point, or if I change a contractor or I do anything, I have to make sure that I get value out of these project that I'm doing. If I stop at any point of time, I can get value and I can change my direction, or I can do a lot of changes. Another thing, actually, while I have multiple contractors and multiple stakeholders working in digital transformation projects, we have to take care about contracting and collaboration. We have to talk about how is the relation between, we are managing relations between different parties, because we are moving actually from a kind of documentation that we are doing to data that we are having a lot of insights. So all this data that is generated during the journey will affect our performance, and we have to take care about it. The other thing is, usually we work like every contractor will have his risk, and he will need to transfer this risk to another contractor or something like this. But today it's different. Today we will feel how we manage this as an economic value. Who is better to manage this? So he will better. If I manage it, it will be better. If the contractor can do it, it's fine. The other thing is about moving from boundaries to pathways. So actually, when we deal with our contractors today, we are dealing with them, okay, how we find a common ground that will create value for us and for the contractor as well, because we are innovating, we are changing our ways. For this also, we need to have a partnership between business and technology. Today, we are talking about two-in-box model. So it's business and technology are working in one dimension and one direction, having the same view, how they are viewing the future and how we are acting and in the future. For this, we see that the rule of technology have changed. Before that, we was talking about business operator. Yani the technology was a business operator, but today every creation of value, we need technology there. So it's a business co-creator. We are quoting from cost center. Usually we use it to utilize technology as a cost center. That is making account. It's a loss for us. Today it's a revenue generator because it's an engine that is generating a lot of revenues for us. The third thing actually is moving from service delivery to value delivery. Everything today is built around value. What is the business value from what we are doing and what we are making? This is really very important. The fourth thing is about moving from cybersecurity to an IT risk. Sometimes we have managed some risks as an IT risk, but it's not today, because if we have a cyber attack or something, this is affecting our business. It's affecting our resiliency. So we have to take care about this and be very conscious about this point. The more thing actually is for business itself. The business is transforming actually. So we see that the business is transforming, and as we see, usually the finance department was working alone, supply chain was working alone, everyone is working alone. But today it's different because everyone needs to take into common ground, and so that we work in processes, so that we create value for our customers, and instead of only just creating for our department. So this is totally changing. And also in here, what we see also, there's a new risk that is generated. As I said, actually, the brand exposure in social media. The social media is not a technology thing. It's if in case some issue is happening in the social media that will affect our brand. So we have to take care about it. When we talk about confidentiality or regulatory breaches. So when we are talking about business, we need to understand exactly what are the technology things that affecting our business and how it can be mitigated and how it can be regulated and compliant to it. The IT risks and the technical debts. Some people actually is having a technical debt. They have their own data center and something like this, and this is affecting them instead of going to the future. And we need to cater for this and to take care how we will manage this. The other thing is customer loyalty. Customer loyalty is part of it actually is coming from the social media, from our reputation, from our technical services. So it is very important that we manage it and we handle this in a very good way. The other point actually is coming for the agile in managed interns. We understand and we said that technology or digital transformation is not a solid thing. You can change your mind, you can change your journey, you can change your way. So in this actually, this flexibility is coming with a lot of risks, and we have to mitigate all these risks. So this is actually what we see. And here, Fahd, I know if we can show the poll results, because we put the roles, and I understand that out of the points we have put, we see that what people are thinking actually, is it okay? So I see a lot of people thinking that it's a matter of alignment between we need to facilitate the alignment for all activities, so that it will be okay. That's a good idea actually, but for me, I think it's managing the rest out of the digital transformation is very important to have to put the governance infrastructure. So it's really, you know, we put a risk structure, very well risk structure, as well we manage the alignment between all departments So this is really very important, and how we need and why we need the digital transformation. Okay, thank you, Fahad.
Shall we put the second poll as well so that people can interact onto that?
Yes, okay, we can put it now, and I'll answer it later on.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so as we see, actually, we have a lot of features in the digital transformation, and out of these digital transformation issues, we need to create our future. So that's why we are now coming to another ball, actually, and we are coming directly to the digital transformation governance. As we see, there was a lot of dimensions for digital transformation, and it's not a rigid environment. It's a journey that we have a lot of terms. So for this, we need to build a solid digital transformation governance. And this solid digital transformation governance will have some principles. So these principles and pillars are like transparency. We need to build transparency among the whole organization, between the top and the bottom organization, so that everyone is aligned about how and why we are doing digital transformation, what will be our benefits from it, and how we manage it. We need to be fair and integrity to manage these things. And the reason, actually, because everyone will have a role in digital transformation. And if you are not handling this in this way, it will be very difficult to manage the whole journey. And some people will quit and will not find the value for it. We are talking about accountability as well. Accountability meaning that when you take some role in digital transformation journey, you have to be accountable for this. Other than this, it will be a mess. Responsibility. When some staff have something, you have to do it, and he should be responsible. We create flexibility for people to take decisions, but of course, they are held responsible for these decisions that they are making. And one more thing to recognize is that it's no one size fits all. So the digital transformation and governance is built by organization by organization. It's totally different from one organization to another. And what's working today might not work tomorrow. So we have to take care about this while we are putting the governance structure for the digital transformation. And the reason for this, as I told, there is a lot of elements affecting this. We are talking about technology, we are talking about processes, how processes are managing you and doing. We are talking about the data, because the data is creating a lot of insights for the future. So we have to plan it very carefully. We are talking about the change management, because in the journey for digital transformation, you need to find a lot of changes in the business, in the people, in the training, in the activity. So you have to handle this very wise manner and very effective, so that you can get the value out of the digital transformation. And this is coming out of governance. So when we are talking about the components or the requirements for emerging governance, we are talking about the IT governance, because the IT is a major role, actually playing a major role in the governance for the digital transformation. So we are talking about innovation. So there is no digital transformation without innovation. But innovation can be messy in case we allow everyone to start talking his way and discussing his way. So for this, it is very important we put some rules for the innovation, and we govern this kind of innovation. The data actually is coming from different levels and generating value for all the company. Today, it's not we are having a lot of files there. We are having these data. And for example, and one example from Domino's Pizza style, that when they start their digital transformation journey, they find that 80% of the people are using or are asking for the same pizza every day. For this, they create a zero-click application that will order your favorite pizza once you open the application. So for this, they create a lot of revenue out of this idea. So it's very important how we manage the data. When we talk about the operating model considerations, because this operating model, how we do the value, how we produce in the company. So it's very important. Also, we are talking about the business model consideration, how we generate value out of the operation and how of the business. And it's coming also how the customer is viewing us and how the customer experience is managed. So this is also another important thing that we need to handle and to manage. One more thing is related to the employees or the employment or the workers. For the workers, actually, for our human capital, it's totally changing, because people now we are having a lot of, for example, dynamic teams, rather than every organization or every department is working in a silo. It's a dynamic team that is flexible and doing a lot of things. And we are talking about also a kind of agile workforce that's moving, turning, working a lot of activities. And also when we're talking, we have a kind of skill sets that we are building. We have gig workers that's coming and going. We have contractors that it's not every day we have these contractors coming. And as I told you, actually, in a smart city project, for example, instead of having like 5 contractors, we are moving into hundreds of contractors that are managing smart city for us. For all of this, actually, we are talking about now the digital transformation core and the element of the digital transformation. And in here, you see that everyone has different style of creating a digital transformation governance. Some people are thinking of shared digital units, meaning that you create a digital unit that is in the whole organization, managed usually by a kind of chief digital officer. And this chief digital officer is handling the whole situation. This is one thing some people is thinking about it. Other people are thinking about developing new skills for their existing new employees so that they can work in their structure and the same existing structure. We are looking, for example, in the governance committees. Today, a lot of companies are making like steering committee for the digital transformation so that they can manage it and handle it. We are talking about innovation committees who can manage the innovation and what is there. We have talking about chief digital officers, new positions that's created, digital liaison function who are creating for this. We are talking about how to build a single view of customers also and to build an integrated view of operation. So all these things, and for digital platforms, so all these things we need to take care about them. And there's, of course, everything have pros and minuses and cons. And in this case study, what we see here that we have talking about 4 companies. This study is done by company. So it is, we see that everyone is taking care about different in terms of collaboration and coordination or sharing and collaboration. Every company have its own perspective based on its model. So for example, this company Breza is a language based. So they are talking about mainly sharing. They need to elevate the number of sharing as well in collaboration. Other companies or coordination. Other companies are very focused on coordination. So Volvo, for example, so it's based on your business, actually, how you build and how you make these structures that we talked before, how you organize the teams and the committees. It will depend on your business and how you handle it and to see how this will create a value for you. So for example, in here, we'll see these 4 companies in details for a while. So this is Volvo, for example. They have the shared digital unit, and then they have like a chief digital officer for the whole business units. So it's in different location. We here find this company Preza, for example. They have a chief digital officer in here, and they have a shared business unit, and then they have a kind of digital innovator in every business unit. So this will depend on the business you are in. And in here, for example, we have just the chief digital officer with the team in the shared unit. We don't have here inside some digital innovators inside. And this company, for example, is building an e-commerce company because it's just an investment company. So every company is unique and it has different structure for itself. Let's see bull number 2, the results, Fahad, possible. Okay. So actually, while Fahad is preparing it, let's say what we expect from the business leaders today.
No, just a second. I'll just here you go.
Okay.
CEOs are.
Yes. So a lot of people are thinking that the chief digital officer is the one who should lead. Yes, this is true. But of course, we have the CEO is the one who should sponsor this. So we should have a sponsor from the CEO or the top position in the company. As well, we need to have the chief digital officer running this for us. And in here, what we need, will be actually my last slide in here, we have 2 slides. One is the message to the business leaders that we need to act now. We need to create a digital governance, digital transformation governance structure while we are managing the business and while we are creating our digital journey. And also we need to know that there is a lot of kind of flexibility People is very important to us while we are doing and building this journey. So it is really very important. And in here, I'm talking just about the last slide in the 5 points that I need you to stick in the mind. One thing is digital transformation the governance should not be left to chance. You should plan for it very good, very well. Another thing is ineffective governance. It will create a mess and it will create a waste. So you need to be creating a very effective digital transformation journey. It's no one size fits all. So every company have its change, and this is what we see in the case study. The senior executives should revisit the governance every while and then, periodically, because this governance model is changing frequently. And the other thing is that governance is evolving, and while it's evolving, you should take care about the new comments and the new things that is coming out of this governance structure.